Hey guys, welcome to a recap of Summer's House, Martha's Vineyard, season finale, episode 8 to Martha. Guys, what a season! What a first season! I'm telling you, I felt like we could have got another 8 more episodes. I felt like we've got a lot in 8 episodes. We went up, we went down, we went up, we went down. So much has happened. And I feel like, I want a follow up of this to come out soon because I need to know what's the tea, what's going on. I need the updates. So we're wrapping up this vacation, and the Coopers are still not on good terms. Remember last night they had a whole argument. Silas, he would not let it go. How he felt that Jasmine should have taken care of him, gave him his food, take care of his clothes. And Jasmine, she's here on vacation. She wants to relax. She wants to pull away from the routine, okay? They do have a schedule, they are married, they do have their roles, but hey, you're on vacation, lighten up a little bit. So we're over at the kitchen, and Silas, he is like, being a little bit passive aggressive. He says that he is hungry, and Jasmine, she quietly leaves the kitchen, leaving Amir and Jason in the kitchen. Now, Amir, he's quick. He caught on the energy, he caught on the vibe, and he asked Silas, "Is everything good with you and Jasmine?" And so Silas, he's opening up and he's sharing with the guys how he felt that there needs to be some sort of acknowledgement on Jasmine's part. Like, he is hungry, he needs his food. He doesn't like that they're on vacation and they're out of their routine. Now, Amir, in the confessional, I'm telling you, he's the gangster already. He's saying that this man can make his own food. He needs to lighten up. This is not a big deal. This is an issue that doesn't need to be an issue. And that's why we like Amir. Now, Amir didn't say that in that moment. I feel like he's taking a step back and letting the Coopers handling the situation. But Jason, he's listening, but no one's really giving Silas any kind of sympathy or trying to empathize with him. They're just being an ear and listening to him talk about the situation, but no one pretty much have Silas' side. And I don't like that this tension is here, but I'm so glad that it's caught on camera so the Coopers can watch over this and work from this, because this is not a big issue and they can resolve from this. I feel like Silas needs to be a better communicator and kind of don't sweat the small stuff. Like, to be mad at Jasmine for not properly ironing your clothes or not giving your food. Like, it's vacation, it's all temporary, and I think it's appropriate to kind of lighten up and take a chill on vacation. So Jasmine, she left the kitchen, remember. So she goes to her room and she talks to her grandma. She's pretty much trying to get some sort of support to kind of get peace of the situation, because I feel like most women would have like kind of blown up on Silas. I mean, she is handling the best way possible in her own right. And I give it to her because I feel like if it was me, I would have let Silas have it. No way, Jose, on vacation am I even lifting a finger to cook. We are ordering out. We going out for brunch. Maybe sometimes, maybe make a little snack, but I don't want to, feel like I'm at home on vacation. I need some time to unwind and reset, okay? That's the whole point of a vacation. So, Jasmine, she's sharing with her grandma how she is struggling marriage wise. She's calling for support, and I'm feeling for her in that moment. And I'm happy she's keeping it real, because remember, she came into this house and she was giving the facade that everything is perfect and that she's the perfect housewife. Well, definitely, this situation opened up her eyes to see that there's stuff that she needs to work on in her marriage. ASAP, ASAP. So over in the kitchen, Silas is sharing, all this information about, that they're not following a schedule and he doesn't like the vacation is disrupting that. But no one is taking his side, and we're moving on from the situation. And I'm glad that Amir, he leaves the kitchen. Silas, he's talking to Jason, and Jason's not really, paying no mind to it. It's just, it seems that, Silas is very strong on Jasmine giving him some sort of acknowledgement that there has been some sort of a disruption. Like, pretty much, I feel like, he's losing control. So he wants to make sure that she understands that this is not correct. Like when we leave from here, it's not gonna be like this. But I do not think that Jasmine is gonna be like this throughout the marriage. I feel like if when it's vacation, I think she just wants, to lighten the mood and not be on so much of a routine. And I think it's good adjustment to break a routine every now and then. So we then move on and we see Alex preparing for the event to close out this vacation. And he is so passionate about it because he is gonna be performing with his brother. His brother is coming over to perform for the house, and he's super passionate about singing. We learn a little bit about him. His brother used to be the one that was his voice because Alex was quite shy. So now that it's interesting that the tables has turned and now he's a performer, he's speaking, he's singing. So I can't wait for the show tonight. But before that, the crew, they want to gather everyone together to head out to see the African American Heritage Trail. Now, Alex said he has to sit this one out because he has to get the event ready. So he's going to be sitting this one out and preparing with his brother for the whole house while the whole crew go out on this trail. Now, he has a secret surprise in store for Nick. So I'm looking forward to that. So the crew is heading out for the tour. So they are now in Oak Bluffs for the tour. So Oak Bluffs was one of the first places where African Americans can own private property. So some of these properties are still within the African American communities for over 100 years, which is amazing, beautiful thing. I can't imagine letting that go. That should stay in the family. That should be a must. We do get to hear a little bit of history. We learned the Baptist Temple Park. There used to be a temple that stood in that park, but once the property the ownership was transferred over to a group of very white, wealthy people, the temple was taken down, which is quite sad, and it's sad to see that. But the history is still there, and we are reminded by the tour guide the history of Oak Bluffs. And we get to hear some more interesting tea, some interesting history. They passed by an inn, which is where Diana Ross was staying for the summer when she was dating Gene Simmons from Kiss. I thought that was a cool fun fact. The group laughed at that too. They're like, Diana Ross and Gene Simmons? Huh, I need to see that. I want to pull up a photo on that. So the group laughed at that fun fact, and now the tour guide, she was so passionate to share about the fact about Dorothy West, who wrote the book The Wedding, and everyone was like, what is the wedding? And no one could really think or feel like they knew about this information, and the tour guide was just so dumbfounded that, come on, you guys do not know about the wedding. Honestly, I don't know about the wedding. The producers seem to know about the wedding, but again, I would like to remind you that the producers did not know who Hillary Banks is, okay, which is iconic character, okay, in the Black community. So I feel like let's not be harsh on this group, but we learned that The Wedding is a book that was written by Dorothy West. There's also have been a movie in which Halle Berry was in. So there you go. Everyone's informed. So now we all know. This is the whole purpose of going and experiencing Martha Vineyard, and purpose of experiencing not different culture, Black culture. So we are informed and we do learn, because not everyone will know this. So it's important for the tour guide and shows like this to really inform the public. So the crew make it over to the house, and the event is coming along quite slowly, okay? Quite slowly. I don't know when the event's gonna start, but it's happening quite slowly. They have to pretty much clean up the house. Everyone's gonna have their special guest who comes in. And the crew gotta get their looks together, so we're not starting on time. So the Coopers are in their room, and y'all, they are still going at it. I wish they can drop the issue, but yeah, I feel so awkward. I feel like we shouldn't be seeing this, but we're seeing this, and the cameras are capturing everything. So, Jasmine, she stepped out to run an errand. So she left Silas food out on the table. And she pretty much said when she come back home, she'll take care of everything. But Silas was not having that. It seemed like he needed like proper care, like one-to-one care, because he felt like, okay, well, no one's gonna bring me my food. Amir's not gonna bring me my food. I'm like, sir, you have 2 feet, you have hands, you are completely able to get your own food. And even in bonus, she already left the food out for him, so all he had to do was go get it. But he didn't like that setup, and he was just badgering and badgering and badgering Jasmine about this whole situation. And Jasmine was just practicing patience. She was very patient in that whole moment because, y'all, I don't know. Silas, I hope when you watch this, this is a teachable moment for you. You don't talk down and badger a point. Just say what the point is for you. He says he wants acknowledgement, but he's not being so direct to say that outright. And you know what Jasmine is asking for is like his vacation, chill out a little bit. And I think that these two shouldn't be fighting about this issue. I don't think it's an issue that should lead into a divorce or saying that this marriage is not going to last, but it's something that they need to address as soon as possible because this is very trivial. They're going to have much more issues in the future than just this. So Silas wants, you know, Jasmine to steam press his clothes to help him get ready. And, you know, even Jasmine offered us saying that she can do it. But he's like, no, he doesn't want to accept it now because I guess he didn't like how it was coming about. But I felt like he was being super petty, which you shouldn't be in a fight. That's not a way to help resolve an issue. So Silas is just being upset that he had to get ready on his own like a big boy. Jasmine in her confessional, she shares that, you know, her and Silas, they do have set roles that they do have, gendered roles that they do have for each other for their marriage, and that's how they function. But you know, she says like she's on vacation, like she's not thinking about a routine. No one is thinking about a routine and vacation. Like you already breaking the routine by being on vacation because you wouldn't just be somewhere like you're not in New York, you're not working, you're not on your normal schedule, so you're on vacation, so it's okay to deviate from the routine. So Silas, he again, he's badgering to everyone who can hear him, the producers. I don't know how they that know someone will say something to him, but he wants acknowledgement of the situation to know that this is not right and that pretty much he's not crazy. Is that what it is? What do you guys think? I want to know. So we do have special guests that are coming to the event at the house. Jason is inviting his cousin, and you know, everyone's pretty much bringing people over to the house for the final event to make it to have a fun, to have good vibes. So Alex's brother has arrived, and Alex is just so over the moon happy. He is setting up. He's rehearsing. I'm excited. I'm excited. So Jordan and Jasmine, they're away in the bathroom and they're getting ready together. And I'm just so happy that these girls were able to resolve their issues. You know, Jordan is showing up as a friend and checking in on our girl Jasmine, which is good timing because you know she is going through it with Silas and she's opening up to Jordan about Silas and how you know their issues and how they have gendered roles. And you know that is just too much for Jordan. Jordan would not tolerate that. She's a riot. So for her, she was listening and being an ear for Jasmine, and she appreciates that she has her friend being genuine with her and not being a facade. So it's good that these two girlies, they are working things out, and you know that's a testament to their friendship. They're able to come back together and be stronger. So now we see Alex, and he's happy with his brother, and they're rehearsing. And meanwhile, the crew is still getting ready. Y'all, this event was supposed to happen at 4:30. The guest has already arrived, and they're still not ready. And it's starting to get dark. So I'm like, y'all really always gonna be late. Like if they say 4:30, it's really gonna be 7:30. So finally, we all got it together and we're experiencing Lux on the Bluffs. So it's a whole vibe. I'm feeling the mood. Everyone is all dressed up to the tens, okay? Milo could have had a little suit on. Milo could have had a little suit on, but everyone is dressed to the tens and it's just good vibes. You know, Alex is performing, he's singing, and then he shouts out and says there's a surprise for Nick. And we see this lady walking up right behind Nick, and it's Tasia. Nick's girlfriend. His girlfriend is the surprise, and it's a surprise not only for Nick but for the whole crew. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is Tasha. This is Tasha. She is real. She is real. She's not imaginary." And I thought she looked sickening. She looks so good. So apparently, she came all the way from Africa, all the way from the Midland to come to the Martha's Vineyards house. Okay, so she is here, and you know our crew is shady. Our crew is so shady. The girls, Jordan, Preston, they were all super shady. They say, man, this is super awkward. Like, at first she didn't exist, now she exists. So everyone is looking at the situation, smiling, but like, this is awkward because, Nick really lived in the whole delusion of being single the first half of the trip. So it's so interesting to see him all booed up with a beautiful, beautiful young lady, okay? So Alex, he is singing, the show must go on, and Summer is just getting super emotional. That's her man. I already call it. Season two, when they come back, those two are gonna be booed up. I already call it already now. These two are gonna be booed up. So Alex is singing and Summer's getting super emotional. And she goes and she looks over to Jordan and she's like, "Are you crying?" And Jordan's like, "No." Which I thought it was hilarious and very true to Jordan's personality. So she got the feels for her band. So it is social hour and the crew is all hanging out and chatting up. Amir, he talks to Summer and says that he had so much misconceptions about her. And that piques Miss Summer's interest. She wants to know what he thought about her. So he said that she would act like a princess and that she's intrusive when all she really is just curious, aka nosy. So I'm just so happy that the crew has really good vibes with each other. We do see Preston. He talks to Bria and give her props. Maybe too soon. Maybe too soon. He gives her props about her growth during her time in the house. And then we move over and we see Alex and Amir with our new couple, Nick and Tasia. And Amir, he is being nosy. Amir is the nosy one. Amir, you're doing God's work. So he goes and he asks Tasia, "So Tasia, what made you attracted towards Nick?" Or like how the situation came about. And Tasia, she's a sweet girl. She's like, "Okay, I'll go on this date with him." But what really got her is how great, how pure his Nick's heart is. And I'm like, girl, 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 girl. Just wait till she watch this season. I don't know. They're gonna have some explaining to do. So I'm nervous, and I don't know. Coming back season two, will Tasia still be here? I hope Tasia comes to the house. I hope so. I would like to see her in the house. Okay. So now Simon, he jumps into the pool for whatever reason with his whole clothes on, with his suit on. And this makes Bria like freak out. She's like, "Why are you jumping in the pool?" And she goes and checks on Simon. But then, she sees Tasia just sitting in the living room. So she goes and talks to Tasia. I'm like, Bria, she is so shady, but she's giving us the tea. She's giving us the information that we want to know. So Bria, she is unloading on Tasia. And she is saying that pretty much, it's hard being in this house. It's like a rehab. It was so hard for her boyfriend to come to the house, the struggles it was. And then next thing you know, the conversation turns to her asking Tasia on her thoughts of Nick coming to the house by himself. And, she continues to add on to that, add some sauce, saying that, no one in the house knew that Nick had a girlfriend for at least a week and a week and some days into this house. And I'm trying to read Tasha's face. Tasha is beautiful. I could look at Tasha. Tasha, I'm reading her face, and she's like, She's processing what Bria is saying. And by chance, Nick, he's like 3 feet away. So he comes in at that moment. And it's just so interesting. I'm like, oh, what's gonna go on? How it's gonna explain the whole situation? So Bria, she's talking about how Nick was in everyone's DMs, and I'm trying to look at Tasia's face and see what's going on. Nick, he moves over because Jason calls him back, and I'm like, oh, maybe that was a good time for him to leave. Whew. And she says that she trusts her man and feels not an ounce of doubt. I said, better you, not me. But let Bria, you gotta let her watch the tape first. Let her watch the tape, and then we get to really know how she really feels. But I hope she comes season two. That would be so nice. So the Coopers are outside and they're having a talk. And Silas talks about needing acknowledgement, but Jasmine feels like again she's already hard on herself that she doesn't need Silas beating her down about it. And it's just so sad and depressing. And for Silas, this is like what he wants is a schedule and routines are followed. But Jasmine, she's only asking for flexibility. So we're repeating the same thing over and over again. So I'm so happy the crew came over to lighten the whole mood and saying, y'all, this is the final time, the last moments in the house. Let's have fun. So I'm glad they shifted the mood for that because I don't want them to end this on a bad note and have a bad association with Martha's Vineyard. Like Silas said in the end, he had a girl. He made Jasmine his girlfriend in Martha's Vineyard. He made her a wife in Martha's Vineyard. So they need to stay together in Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is a special place for them. So let's keep it like that. So now we get to see Alex and Summer have a little talk, and I thought this was gonna end in a little kiss, but it didn't. These two are just brain connection, emotional, no physical. Ugh. So these two, they are, bonding. Summer is giving Alex his props, saying how he just made the whole crowd just emotional through his singing, which is a good compliment to give to a person. And Alex, he says that Summer was a great addition to the house and that, she should come and visit him in New York. And she's like, she could make that work. She could make that happen. So these two, they are developing a connection. There's a bond. And I'm just waiting for him to just kiss the girl. Just kiss the girl already. Just kiss the girl. So we then get to see Amir and Jordan, and these two are just friends. I'm shocked because I was not expecting that these two would just be friends. I thought they were gonna be the show romance of the season, but they're not. So these two, they are being friends. Jordan, she's happy that she can consider him, Amir, as a close friend. And Amir is in the confessional saying, "I'm happy to be in the friend zone." And I was like, I wonder how long that's gonna continue. If that will stay to be a thing, or maybe we'll see something where we see Amir now in a relationship with a new girl. That new girl comes to the house, and that invokes some sort of emotion to Jordan. That's the whole situation. I'm already producing and plotting for next season two. This needs a season two for me. Okay, I need a season two. Can I be in the season two? I would love to be in season two. So Simon and Bria, they are arguing over Simon not taking Milo for 2 seconds from Bria. So Bria spazzes out on his ass, spazzed it out on him and let him have it and saying that he's kicked out the house, he's leaving. And then Summer comes in the middle of all of this, and girl, that was her biggest mistake because she is like listening to Simon and hearing him out. Bria, she left the situation, went upstairs, and then she's talking to Jordan, and her and Jordan are feeling like, Summer shouldn't be really talking to Simon. Summer should be comforting her friend and showing loyalty to her. So she's feeling some kind of way about this because Summer's outside understanding too much of Simon, okay? So Bria, she goes and she calls, before she calls her mama. All the crew is dancing. There was like a break in the fighting, and then the crew is all like dancing. They're turning up, and then Bria, she pulls Simon to the side, saying they need to talk. But Simon, he's having a ball. He's drunk. He's having fun. So he continued dancing. So Bria, she gets upset again and goes to her room to call her mother. Now her mother, this is the second time her mother paid no mind to Bria. Bria, that's embarrassing. Mom didn't even take Bria's side. She's like, let Simon have fun. Justice for Simon. So Bria, she's upset that even her mom's not taking her side. And it's just so interesting to me. Summer, she comes into Bria's room and they kind of have a talk, but that talk turns out to cursing. And then Summer goes off and shoves Bria in the chest. And Bria, you see, she sees red, and it became into a whole catfight situation. The camera didn't even capture it all. You see a little bit of the scuffle. So the fight had to be broken up by production. And you see Summer. Summer was funny. Summer, she skedaddled off. The way she skedaddled off, went down the stairs, um, to wherever she went. It was hilarious for me. Okay. So Bria, she is just having a breakdown, which was so unfortunate because she feels like everyone keeps playing her, putting hands on her. Because remember, she had Mariah put hands on her before. I miss Mariah. I wish Mariah was still in the house. So she's reflecting on all these bad moments into the house. I'm feeling bad for Bria. I'm feeling bad for Simon because Simon is just sleeping in the couch. She's not even paying no mind to that there was a cat fight. So the Coopers, they're in bed, and Jasmine, she is not paying no mind to the situation. But Silas wants her to address her friend, and a text will not do, and he wanted to kind of dictate the whole situation and put his input on it, but Jasmine does not care at this moment. So Silas is not liking how Jasmine is talking to him right now, and I'm like, Lord, Lord, now Silas is getting loud, saying that he will change her life. I don't understand what the hell that means. I don't know whether we're gonna get a reunion for Martha's Vineyard. No, I don't think so. Hmm, that's so unfortunate. Do we get a reunion for Summer House? I think we did. We did. Oh, I think they deserve a reunion. I need to look that up. But stay tuned for a recap of the reunion because I will cover that. So now we get a switch in scene for a little relief. We see Preston, Amir, and Jordan. They're in one room together, and they are just hungry. They're like they didn't eat not one piece of bread in this whole event. I don't know if there was food. I didn't think there was food in this event. I think it was mostly just drinks and vibes. Drinks and vibes, drinks and vibes. So then we get to see a scene where Silas he's packing up his things, and I'm like, ugh. No, not today, not tonight. No, they need to end how they always end the night, which is having sex with each other, but they didn't this time. So it's day 15 and it's time to go home. I don't know, 15 days on vacation. That's quite a long time, y'all. That's a long time. I think 3, 4 days is a good amount of time for vacation, but 15 days. I'm starting to miss home. I'm starting to miss my little routine. I'm starting to miss my own little bed. Like, oh my God, that's a long time. So it's time to go home, and Bria and Simon they have a talk, and these two they are planning to move forward. These two are still a couple, as I thought they would be. I feel like they have these fights, but then they get back together quite quickly, as it should. I hate when people linger on feelings for too long. Okay, so we get to see Summer and Bria have a talk, and I was like, I was shocked because I honestly didn't think they were gonna talk and make up. I thought that was quick. I thought that was quick, but they were both at a place where they felt bad about the situation and they wanted to apologize with each other to each other. So I'm glad they did that because I like this crew. It actually honestly made me super happy. These both these girls they felt super bad about the situation. Summer she apologized because she felt bad because she shouldn't have been in Bria's business in the first place, and on top of that she shouldn't have put her hands on her. So I think that's the difference between Summer and Mariah, because Mariah she moved on as if it was still Gucci when it wasn't Gucci. So Bria, she's forgiving too, and these two hug it out, and I'm so happy. I feel like, wow, I didn't think we were gonna get resolution with that, but I'm glad we did. So then we see Jason and Jasmine, they're in the kitchen, Jason is hearing out how Jasmine is still having issues with Silas. But Jason, he said he had a good time overall with the group. He made some new friends. So he is excited to come back next year to Martha's Vineyard with the crew. So everyone is signing the book on the table to leave their regards for Martha, to say they pretty much to do a send off, saying they're pretty much happy with their trip. And the crew is reflective, and I truly really enjoyed this group of friends. They were actually giving me friends. Like, I hope they have a season 2, which I think they will. Do they need a reunion? Yes, because we have some follow-up questions that we need answers to. And yeah, I feel like this was a great season. I know there were some comments with people who said that they didn't necessarily like the portrayal of the group in Martha's Vineyard. So I'm just curious to know why maybe you guys feel this way. But overall, I felt like it was a good balance of we got some history, we got some good laughs, some genuine scenes. We had, highs, we had lows. I think we had it all. I felt like this was a great mix. I just so curious to know what's gonna happen in the future. Oh, I miss Shanice. Oh, next season two is going to be so fascinating, so good. So, guys, that was the recap. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. As always, I appreciate every one of you. And don't forget to share as much kindness as possible. Take care. Bye, guys.